Hello all. Today we are going to see a totally different topic, a new topic, marketing warfare strategies. Now before we move on to the concept of marketing warfare strategies, let me just give you a briefing on what all aspects we will be covering under marketing warfare. So we'll look at the different types of marketing warfare strategies, what are the prominent strategies under it, and then we'll also talk about the different competitive positions, and then we will also speak about the concept of core competency and competitive advantage. So these three aspects would be covered. Along with it, I'll also be highlighting on what all aspects to be included in projects. So certain guidelines on how to make your project report with respect to marketing management too. So let's have a discussion on marketing warfare strategies. Now marketing warfare strategies are mainly of four types, where the first one includes a defensive strategy, then the offensive strategy, flanking strategy, guerrilla strategy. We'll see of a defensive strategy in detail. Defensive strategy, it is normally used by market leaders where they will try to block the moves of the competitors, or they'll look for new ideas. So it includes all those strategies where they are trying to explore on new ideas or somehow block competitors from outperforming them. So that constitutes defensive marketing strategy. Now next we move on to offensive marketing strategy. Now if we said defensive marketing strategy, market leaders normally use this. Offensive is normally used by market challengers. Now being a market challenger, they'll have two options. So the first option includes, definitely there is somebody above them, there is somebody who is having the top-notch position. Now either to attack the leader, or if not, the other option is to attack the followers, the other market followers. So either avoid the main market leader and then concentrate on these followers, eliminate them before concentrating on this market leader. Otherwise, if the market leader is being oriented or attacked, they will look at what is the weak spot of the market leader. So that is what is meant by offensive strategy. Now in flanking strategy it could be used by both market leaders as well as market challengers, where either an element of surprise is always looked at, something novel is always tried upon. That is normally what a market leader would do. Otherwise, when flanking is being adopted by a market challenger, what they are looking at is looking at an unexplored market, an area which has not been concentrated or oriented by the market leader. So this is part of flanking strategy. And the last strategy, guerrilla strategy, offering intermittent attacks. And these attacks are normally with respect to a smaller market segment, and they're not sure whether this will actually work out, and they're always ready to bug out of this particular decision if required. So what did we say? There are four different types of marketing warfare strategies. We need to have a general understanding of the marketing warfare before we move to the second concept, which is competitive position. Continuation to marketing warfare strategies, we are seeing the competitive position. Now competitive position, it is of four categories or four types, which includes the market leader, market challenger, market follower, and the market niche. So these are the four different categories under competitive position. So there is always a market leader who normally would be having the dominant market share, which normally is 40%. Now when you're talking about the market challenger, it is roughly around 30% of the overall market share. Then market followers, which include smaller firms who are following the market leader and the market challenger, they constitute 20% of the market share. And the market niche, such firms which constitute 10%. Such organizations are 10% of the overall market share. Now, let me give you an example of the FMCG brands in India to help you identify what clearly is the difference between the four. Now, to talk about market leader, FMCG brand, yes, you know what it is, you know which organization I'm talking about. It is definitely Hindustan Unilever Limited. Now, when you're talking about market challengers, yes, there are many challengers. Mainly ITC is a market challenger for HUL. Even Nestle is another market challenger. Followed by market followers, which are the smaller FMCG brands in India. One prominent one being Manpasand, which is prominent in the northeastern region of India. Then Parag Foods is another example. So that's market followers. Then market niche. Unlike the previous three, market niche is a type of a competitor where they're trying to differentiate themselves in terms of the kind of product they offer. Maybe it is in terms of the product attributes, the product ingredients, or if not, let's say in terms of the target market, the market they are trying to target upon. So hence they called a market niche. Now we were talking about FMCG brands in India. So Patanjali, where they are concentrating on Ayurvedic ingredients. So that is how they have positioned themselves. So I hope the 4 different competitive questions are very, very clear. Now, competitive questions, we have had a discussion on the various categories and the competitive positions. And now each of these competitive questions, whether it is market leader, market challenger, market niche, market follower, they'll have a different set of strategies which are being adopted. Now, for instance, if you're talking about the market leader would have a strategy of either trying to expand the market or trying to defend the existing market. Now, under defending strategies, there are different types of strategies. Similarly, market challenger has also got different strategies where they can either attack the market leader, or if not, the smaller size firms or firms of a similar size. So that's what a market challenger strategy includes. Now, when you're talking about a market follower, they will have something totally different from a market leader and a market challenger, because they have a lesser percentage of the market share. And they normally have a different set of strategies, which we would be discussing in detail. And market niche also has got a different, distinct set of marketing strategies, which primarily orients at some innovation with respect to the product or a product line, or some innovation with respect to the price, some innovation with respect to the distribution, which means normally it is the difference in the marketing mix decisions, the strategies which orients at marketing mix decisions. So that is what a market niche would try, or a service quality, differentiating themselves in terms of service quality. So these are the strategies of a market niche. Now we are going to see each of these strategies in detail, and before we move on to that, I request you to pause this video, because we are going to see many different strategies. Pause this video, bring a sheet of paper and a pen, and then as and when I explain a particular strategy, think of a suitable example apart from the one which I am going to provide it to you. And then as you are learning the different strategies, try jotting it down. So hope your pen and paper is ready. The first strategy we are going to see is market leader's strategy. So we said a little earlier, market leader would have 2 different strategies, either to expanding the market, or if not, to defend the existing market. Now, defending the existing market, under defending the existing market, the first strategy includes position strategy. Now, positioning strategy is ensuring the top-notch position that currently it enjoys is being maintained. So a good example of that is HUL. So other than HUL, were you able to identify any other example for position strategy? So position, somehow maintaining the current top market leader position. The second strategy, flank strategy. Flanking strategy for market leader, it includes identifying a noble idea in order to ensure they are always talked about amongst the customer base, and luring the customer into trying the company's product by offering something new always. Now, for instance, Nestle's Maggi, it created a revolution by saying within 2 minutes you could cook a food. So that attracted a lot of attention. Flank strategy, a noble idea is tried upon. Preemptive strategy, the third strategy being preemptive. So this is the strategy where before the competitor attacks, so competitor here mainly includes a market challenger. Before the market challenger would attack, they are trying new methods or new strategies in order to maintain their market share. So a very good example of that is Uber, having a strong competitor Ola, had tried diversifying into a new area which included Uber Eats. So it was a kind of a preemptive strategy. Fourth strategy, counter-offensive strategy. Now, counter-offensive strategy is slightly different from preemptive strategy, where they are trying new ideas which are difficult to emulate for the competitor. Now, difficult to emulate, one very good example I can give you. Starbucks, they had this revolutionary idea of trying a coffee with Alfonso mango syrup. Now, Alfonso being called the king of mangoes, a coffee with Alfonso mango flavor is something unheard of, so which became an instant click, and it is difficult for competitors to imitate or emulate it. Next, mobile strategy. Mobile strategy means where they are trying to expand to new areas, where they are trying new areas where they haven't tried earlier, new segments. For instance, Coca-Cola, they are known for their soft drinks. Now, Coca-Cola had tried a dairy product, a dairy segment product, which was called by the brand name Vaio. Vaio is the first dairy product of Coca-Cola. So that's an example of mobile strategy. Next, contraction strategy. This is the opposite of mobile. Mobile strategy, trying a new product. Here, trying a new product, understanding it is not working well, it is being slowly withdrawn from the market. So I'll give you an example of Pepsi. Now, Pepsi, you're all aware that Pepsi had sponsored IPL 6, season 6. And Pepsi Atom was a product that was launched during this particular time, and it was extensively promoted during the IPL season 6. But then this product, although created an initial furore in the market, it didn't click all that well, and they had to withdraw this particular product. So these are the different strategies of a market leader. Now, next is market challenger. So market challenger, we said initially, would either attack the market leader, or if not, firms of its own size or smaller firms. Now, whatever might be the target, they have two different strategies: general strategy or special strategy. Now, under general strategies of market challenger includes frontal attack. So attacking directly, head on. That is what is meant by a frontal attack. So Hyundai, the Korean car manufacturer, always is attacking the model with the company Maruti Suzuki. So frontal attack. Flank attack is again directly attacking the weak spots of the competitor. Are you able to think of an example? Yes, a very good example is Micromax, which tried to emulate the superior attributes of a smartphone, but then offered it at a much lesser price, at a substantially reduced price. So flank, orienting at the weak spots of the competitor. Third strategy, encirclement. As the term suggests, encircling the market leader on all sides through different means or different strategies, thereby somehow trying to outperform the competitor. So now we'll take the automobile industry once again, and then let's look at the example of Honda, the Japanese car manufacturer, and Hyundai, the Korean car manufacturer, always encircling the Indian company Maruti Suzuki by offering similar models and trying to capture the market. So that's encirclement. Bypass, as the term suggests, bypass. Not concentrate on the market leader, but bypass and try a new market altogether. So this is exactly what Parle did when they didn't try to compete with Coca-Cola or Pepsi, but then they offered a coffee ingredient soft drink. So a soft drink which had coffee, which was called Cafe Cube, where they were trying to bypass the main competitors. So bypass strategy. Next, guerrilla strategy. We have already talked about guerrilla strategy, where it is offering intermittent attacks in order to demoralize the competitor. Now, Flipkart and Snapdeal, we are aware, they always have this strategy of trying intermittent attacks in order to demoralize each other, in order to have an upper hand. Now, market challenges special strategies. Special strategies include offering a price discounts. Now, we are all aware of e-commerce sites offering flash sales. So that's an example. Now, prestige goods is another strategy under special strategy, offering premium products. Now, Ola has introduced what is called Ola Lux, offering premium cab service, premium models as cabs. Then, product proliferation, trying to further penetrate into the market. Now, when you talk about mobile phones, consumers trying mobile phones for the first time, which is the company which initiated many customers to try its mobile phones, it was definitely Reliance, which created a revolution. So, product proliferation, innovation in the distribution innovation, the next strategy. Now, the Quid car could be ordered with the help of an app. Download an app and then you could order a Quid car and then always track your order. So that was an innovation in the distribution. The next strategy, intensive advertisement, intensively advertising. So now one good example of this is Fruity, Parle's Fruity being extensively advertised. And the last one, product innovation is the next type of special strategy of a market challenger where they are trying to bring in innovation in the product. So money control app is a very good example of a product innovation. And the last strategy under special strategy of market challenger, low manufacturing cost. Now let me give you an example of Motorola. Motorola, for the higher end models, they have the manufacturing process undertaken in the American market itself. Whereas for the lower end models, in order to bring down the cost of production, they concentrate upon low labor cost countries and thereby offer it at a much lesser price. So this is all the different strategies of a market challenger. I hope it's very, very clear, and I hope you have got a different set of examples for the different market challenger strategies as well as the market leader strategies. Now we move on to market follower strategies. Market follower strategies are primarily of four types, where the first strategy of a market follower is counterfeiter strategy. Now, counterfeiter strategy is also called the black marketer strategy, where it is not considered ethical. It is marketing through the black markets, where a product which has got a much higher brand image, which is offered at a higher price, is sold in the black market at a much reduced price, thereby creating a lot of damage to companies having a high brand equity. That is called a counterfeiter strategy. Now, next is cloner strategy. Cloner strategy is imitating the market leaders, the top-notch companies, and then imitating could be in terms of imitating the brand name with small differences in the brand name. For example, Rado. Instead of Rado, the spelling is Rada, R-A-D-A. So this could be an example of cloner strategy. The third strategy being imitator strategy. Now, if in cloner, it was primarily the brand name which was imitated, where there are chances for the customer to mistake it to be of a brand of higher brand equity or higher brand image. Here in imitator, the product is being imitated. For example, when you talk about antique jewelry, Tanishq jewelry, it is being imitated, and imitation jewelry is offered at a much reduced price. Then you can call it as imitator strategy. Next, adapter strategy. Adapter strategy is a type of a market follower strategy where the best attributes of a market leader or a market challenger is being emulated by a market follower, which is considered an appropriate strategy for a market follower. Now, I'm sure you have all heard of Tata Arya. Now, Tata Arya was a model that was introduced in order to compete or in order to emulate the Mahindra Scorpio. It would be wrong to say compete, because market followers are definitely not trying to compete, but then they are trying to create a market share for themselves. They are never in a position to compete with the market leader, unlike the market challengers. So these are the four strategies of a market follower: counterfeiter, cloner, initiate, imitator and adapter. Now the last strategy, market niche strategy. Now market niche, we said in the initial part of the class that market niche would look at bringing in some changes in the marketing mix decisions. So it could be end user specialist. A market niche is created through orienting at the end user. So becoming an end user specialist. As in the case of Johnson & Johnson, they have created a niche for themselves, offering infant products exclusively for infants. So that's end user specialist. Now, specific customer, offering it to a specific customer, being very specific. Now, here there is a difference between end user and specific customer. In end user, you're talking about a niche segment of customers, whereas in specific customer, the number of customers are quite limited. As in the case of Land Rover. Now, there is a very famous case study of Land Rover where chassis for Land Rover was manufactured by UPF Thomson, and the design, everything was available only with UPF Thomson being the sole supplier of chassis for Land Rover. And what happened is when UPF Thomson went bankrupt, the Land Rover had to pay off the debts in order to stay in business, because they were dependent on the supplier, specific customer. Now, next is geographic strategy. Geographic strategy, remember I've given you the example of market follower Manpasand. Now, Manpasand has got a mango drink which is under the brand name Mango Sip, which is very popular in the northeastern part of India. So they are concentrating on the northeastern region of India. Geographic strategy. Next, product line strategy, where there is a specific product or a product line the organization is emphasizing on. Ray-Ban, you know what they are famous for, or IKEA, the Swedish furniture manufacturers. They're exclusively into a particular product. So product or product line. Next, job shop specialist. Job shop, where a good example of job shop specialist is Dell. Now Dell, what is Dell famous for? Their customized PC. Anybody could order online asking for a customized configuration of a personal computer. So that's a classic example of job shop strategy. Next, quality price. Superior quality coming at a premium price. So Godrej Nature Basket is an example of quality price. Next, service quality. Offering service excellence, service quality. Now, there are several airports in India which are known for its superior service quality. One among them being the Bengaluru airport, the Mumbai airport, all these, or the Cochin airport. All of these airports have bagged awards for their service quality. Next, channel, innovation in the channel. So an example is OnePlus Smartphones, which is a Chinese smartphone manufacturer, where it is offered through the online platform. So these are the different strategies under market niche. So we have seen the strategies of market leader, market challenger, market follower, market niche. Now, to understand these strategies effectively and also to understand these competitive positions effectively, it would be ideal if you can think of multiple examples from different industries. Thereby, you can learn these strategies quite effectively. So the third aspect that we are going to see in today's classes, the difference between the concept of core competence and competitive advantage. Now, these two are terms which are used invariably, but then there is a lot of difference between these two terms. So let us understand what is competitive advantage. Competitive advantage, as the term suggests, having a competitive edge, trying to differentiate yourself in terms of a competitive edge that the organization would have. Now let's talk about an organization like Sony. Now Sony has brought in a competitive edge for itself by offering a product of superior quality so that's having a competitive edge over your competitors, which might be difficult for your competitors to emulate. Competitive advantage. On the other hand, core competency. Unlike competitive advantage, core competency talks about a technological expertise. So harmonizing some technological expertise into the workflow activities of the organization. That is core competency. Now you needn't panic listening to this high funda definition. It is very simple. We'll take the example of Sony itself. Now Sony, we said for competitive advantage, what did we say? Low cost of production, thereby they are able to offer a high quality product at a reduced price. Whereas core competency of Sony is in its microprocessor or miniature technology. So miniature technology is its core competency. I hope the difference is clear. Core competency is related to technology. So this is the difference between competitive advantage, core competency. Now, before we wind up the class, as I promised you in the beginning, let me give you some guidelines on the project. Now, project being for 15 marks, now please ensure you cover all the areas which comes in module 1 to 5. And the major concepts need to be covered. And then please ensure you have a collage or some flow chart or some diagrams with respect to some concepts in each of the modules. At least one collage, some diagrams, some flow charts per module is very important, which means minimum of 5 different collages or flow charts. That's one requirement. And the case study which I mentioned has to be part of this project report, could be on any topics under module 1 to 5. One case study is enough, but along with the case study, there has to be an analysis along with the solo taxonomy approach, answers to the questions. So that will make your project report complete. And I hope you are following a suggestion which was put forward in the previous video class, having quality time at home, ensuring you're leveraging on the opportunity that you have during this lockdown. Wishing you the very best.